Welcome to Recovering Addict. How is everybody doing today? I'm LT and I'm an alcoholic addict.
I'm Jake and I'm a recovering substance user.
Yes, he is. Yes, I am. And yes, you all, if you are watching this, probably are too. Tonight we have a special episode. We are normally going through this book called Staying Sober by Terrence Gorski. We did half of an intro last Sunday. Tonight we have a special episode. We are normally going through this book. Little interference there. I apologize for. I was yelling at myself. But anyway, Staying Sober is what we're going through, and we will be back on track finishing that introduction Tuesday night. But tonight we're going to talk about relapse and the dark truth about relapse. If you are involved in this community, you know Jake had a relapse about a week ago, and relapses do not have to happen in recovery. First, I'm going to say that. And another thing I want to say, this is just our opinions and advice. We are not doctors. We are not psychiatrists, psychologists. So go seek that medical. We are here for entertainment and education and just some content for you to chew on and to be love and support. We have a Discord app where you guys can really get to the heartbeat of this community, get involved, have 24-hour support, and join us for our daily Zoom meetings. We have Mondays and Wednesday 12-step classes that are a real crash course in that. So please join us there. If this is your first time, please like and subscribe. We thank you for being here. But tonight we're going to get into what happened to Jake. It's crazy because I'm just going to kind of speak about him like he's not here for a minute. If I had to make a list of 10 people that I thought was going to relapse, he wouldn't have made the list, period. And when I heard my side of the story, when they reached out to me and was like, hey, 2 scenarios are happening right now. Jake either fell and he's in the mountains or he relapsed. I was like, that dumbass has a broken ankle. Good. And then it got to the point where like, holy crap, this might be true. He better have a broken ankle, kind of thing. I really hope that he's on the side of the mountain right now with a broken ankle, is what I thought. And my thoughts were the farthest from him relapsing. And so there's a lot to learn tonight in this experience. And then just on top of that, the bravery, I want to talk about first, relapse hitting you out of nowhere. Jake had over a year, some odd clean, right? March something was his clean date, March 1st. So he had over a year clean. Then relapsing out of nowhere, when it's basically like having the pastor and preacher, the guy that knows the word of God up there preaching, and all of a sudden you see him at the casino with hookers. You're like, what? It's that much of a shock. You know what I mean? Obviously he can preach the 12 steps. He knows recovery in and out. He knows psychology books in and out. And knowledge, obviously, in this instance, isn't going to save you. So there's got to be a healthy balance of both. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about what the difference between a lapse and a relapse, because that's huge. And then I want to talk about the way you handle it and rebound, right? Obviously, the way that Jake is handling this and rebounding. I mean, he jumped up. He got right back to work, cleaning up. He's like, okay, it's time to face the music. And he's straight up calling people, like all the hard phone calls, you know what I mean? And we'll let him get into that. But I'm just going to tell my side of the story, and then I'm going to open the microphone and just let Jake go off. And then I'll play devil's advocate. I'll ask questions. Anytime you have a question, please drop it here. And we'll bring it up and we'll let Jake address it. I'm sure he's open and honest tonight. And I doubt he's going to hold much back. But so I think it was Friday night. I can't remember the exact day it was. Maybe it was Thursday. Was it?
It was Saturday.
Saturdays when you went MIA?
Yeah, I got a beard trim Friday.
Oh, well, it looks really nice. And so Saturday, Fleece and I went to the movies with the kids. We're out shooting videos. We dropped that 4 Good Days movie by Mila Kunis review. We dropped that, and I was editing all day, and I get this phone call. Hey, Jake's been missing since 10 o'clock this morning. He said he was going hiking. Have you seen him? I'm like, nope, haven't seen him. He's probably in a hammock somewhere hiding or broken leg. And that was what I thought, And she's like, oh, we think you might have relapsed. I'm like, whatever. You tell Drake and you tell Cameron that I am thinking the best thoughts about their dad. I'm not thinking that like you're thinking that. You know what I mean? That's where my mind was. But then as the day went on and more people were notified, because I started calling and notifying people, these woods and these mountains here in Utah are no joke. They look pretty from a distance and they're fun to hike in, but they can turn deadly in an instant. So in Utah, if you're a Utahn, you know the treacherous of being in the mountains. So I kind of went into, okay, let's let's find out where Jake is, because if he's on a mountain, search and rescue gets involved, this could turn into a couple day thing, and sometimes people die and don't come out. And so I just started hitting up everybody. Hey, you seen Jake? He's hiking. You guys seen Jake? And then it turned into this, like, okay, I think he relapsed. And then I just kind of went dark so we wouldn't, just to figure things out. Anyway, it narrows down and we find his location. Search and rescue pinged a car. We're at near a Home Depot. I pull up. One of his family members is there, very concerned. He's inside this locked community, and I sweet talk my way into this community. I go down, I kind of detective work the door, figure out it's got to be this one, knock on it, and all I hear is, oh, fuck, and it's quiet. So I tried to call him again, and apparently I'm just telling you from my perspective what I'm seeing here. He must have turned his phone back on or back off airplane mode, whatever it was, and he picked up. I'm like, are you on the opposite side of this door I'm talking to you? Yes, I am. Said, you going to let me in or come out and talk to me? No, I'm not. You don't want to see me like this. I'm embarrassed to pieces. And I said, okay, what do you want to do? And he said, I ain't ready to come out and face the music yet. And I said, okay, the first thing I stopped, I said, the first thing I want you to know is I'm here because I love you. Flat out. I'm not here to be a dick or nothing like that. Just want to make sure you're okay. He's my boy. I'd do it for any of you. And that's what my intentions were going there. And then the next morning, it was Monday morning, because you called Felice when she was at work. So a whole day went by and we're staying in touch. I'm calling him every couple hours just to make sure his head's in pull up, like I'm not. Have you ever played those video games when the airplane's going down? All of a sudden you hear pull up. I was trying to be that voice to him. And so we went there, and then Monday I slept. My alarm goes off about 7 or so I can get the kids ready for school. So I had a missed call him. And he's in bad shape. You can just hear it in his voice. Total remorse. And that's another thing I want to talk about is like his experience, because I could hear, and having experienced this myself, but when you have a powerful drug like that running through your vessels, running through your veins, running through your system, and the thing you want most in life is to immediately have it eradicated and just be back to normal and sober and start over, and it won't leave. You have to come down. You have to get through this 48 to 72 hours of poison circulating and running its course through your body, and then like waking up and realizing what you've done.
It was guilt
as well.
No, I'm just replying to Cherie. It was guilt, not shame. I'm not a bad person.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Definite difference between shame and guilt. But anyway, that was my experience. If you guys watch that video of Teeter, when we made that funny video where he's drinking and driving in the car and I showed up and grabbed the bottle, I kind of felt like that day. I was like, I'm a super fucking hero right now. Anyway, I'm going to just let Jake open up. Like I said, drop it on. LT pulled the Teeter. Yes, I did, bro. I was a lot more loving and caring. I was trying to look tough for the video. But anyway, Jake, go ahead and just whatever you want to say.
So it caught me by surprise too. I've been under a lot of stress. Me and my boys, we've been going through a lot. We've been going through a DCFS case. We were made homeless. And I had a lot of emotions about that. And there was a lot of stress. And then there was a growing disconnect in my relationship, which did end shortly thereafter. But I was going through a lot of stress, and then my relationship ended, and that was the stressor that I didn't need. And I am not casting blame. This was me. This was all me. But
let's start from the beginning. So it's Friday night. Friday, you wake up Saturday morning. What was on your mind? Take us through Saturday.
Saturday was
meth.
Saturday, I woke up early. I had plans to go hiking Hidden Valley with Cameron. He was asleep. So I was not thinking about using. I was not thinking about, any of that. I left the house, and between the house and Ogden, there was a moment where I took a different exit. And I ended up at a high risk situation. And
What made you think to go there?
I don't know. Like, there was, I was dealing with a lot of emotions, and my old stress response systems activated, and I guess I was upset. And I've found a twisted sense of comfort at this location. There's being able to exert some control over my life. I've been dealing with a lot, and I do feel that all of the details were there for a reenactment of my trauma. The airplane mode, the disappearing, falling off the grid, the drugs, and the sexual behaviors. So like it was all there for that reenactment of trauma. As far as the moment that the decision was made, I couldn't say. It wasn't when I left the house. It wasn't when I was on the freeway. It was somewhere. I'm sure it happened, but I was driving, and I don't know.
So I'm just going to recap everything. In case you're just joining us, Jake's here to explain how he relapsed. Jake, over the last year and a half, has been trying to get custody of his sons, going through a nasty divorce, breakup, whatever you want to call it. The whole thing when two people are addicts and kids are involved. On top of that, changing jobs, getting promotions, having new relationships, and them ending. Looking for a place to live in Utah right now is not easy. It's not easy because our market is flooded with more people than there is available units and houses, on top of digging yourself out of a hole of drug addiction and prison and stuff like that. And that just adds more to it. So the stress level, I kind of want to make sure everybody understands, is enormous right now. He's dealt with trauma in his past, like he keeps referring to. And this Saturday morning, he took the wrong exit. He pulled off the wrong exit and ended up putting himself in a high risk situation. And that's about where he's at in his story.
And
Does that sound about right?
Yeah. And I got there, and and there was meth, and I ended up with the pipe in my hand, and then it was to my lips, and and that was all she wrote. Immediate airplane mode. In less than an hour, 2 hours, I had a needle in my arm, and was just and was just off to the races. Nothing mattered except that moment, and being high and doing what I was doing. And it
Thank you, Corey.
There's a lot, because like LT said, I'm going through a DCFS case. I'm trying to get custody of my boys. I'm doing this. Like, I'm an active member in the recovering addict community. I'm an active member in the 12-step community. I'm an active member in SOAR. Not as much as I have been in the past, but still, You know, I didn't see it coming. And like there was just something that overrode everything. Like there was.
Did you say fuck it?
No,
No.
there was no fuck it. There was no fuck it moment. It was, looking at addiction from a model of choice, there's a fuck it.
Yeah.
And, that to me, that model, it denotes a level of apathy. You don't give a fuck. I do give a fuck. I care very deeply about my boys, about you and your family, about our community here tonight, about everything that I'm doing. And so everything was overridden. Looking at addiction through a model of trauma, there was a compulsion. There was things in place in my subconscious that required these behaviors to cope with. And so I'm there, I'm doing the thing, and I was going to keep doing the thing. And, I got a feeling that,
Thanks, babe.
yeah, I knew it wasn't going to last long. I knew I had a safety net to come and pull me out. I had people that were going to fucking come and get me. And I knew that, was I able to face these people? No,
Not right away.
I haven't seen him for a week.
That's our first time seeing each other face to face.
I saw my boys for the first time yesterday in that week. Well, no, that's not entirely accurate. Without therapists, I guess. But
wow, what a blessing.
I just I knew somebody was coming. And when that happened, like I wasn't ready, admittedly. After you guys left, I did another shot. And then I called my friend, and I asked her to come get me, my safe person in those situations. This woman has raided dope houses, and she's actually orchestrated me getting ripped off so that I would get sober. And
I had a plan too. You want to hear mine? So I was gonna leave digital behind, right? Get rid of all things digital, and then take my little Chevy, because it's no electronics, just everything's manual, roll down windows. I was going to go and buy about 20 of those Raid bug bombs that you just go and it just sprays. And I was going to go up to that back window or that house you were in. I was going to break it and pop and throw like 10 of those fuckers in there and just watch you guys come out like, that was my plan.
Fuck. But
that would have been cool.
Now the cops know. No, but I did leave that day.
You left that Saturday night?
Well, no, it was Sunday when you knocked on the door.
Was it Sunday?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, okay, Saturday you went missing. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, and then Sunday you knocked on the door, and I was out of there Sunday afternoon.
Okay.
And got a motel room so I could ride shit out. And even while I was in the motel room, I was coming down. I wasn't, I still wasn't feeling anything. I was probably still high. And then the Monday morning, I slept a couple of hours, and there was definitely a God presence with me Monday morning, because I got up and I left the motel, and my plan was to go get high again. And as I'm standing outside of this abandoned restaurant in Ogden, I started feeling everything.
So it's about 5 a.m. then.
Yeah, 5, 6 a.m.
Okay.
and I started feeling stuff. And
so by feeling stuff, your emotions started coming back
yeah,
full fledged.
yeah, I
So
was
up to this
angry.
point, you were numb and getting ready to go get high again.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
angry. I was frustrated. I was sad. The magnitude of my lapse like really hit me, and I was gonna, continue the cycle, but my emotions told me that's where I needed to be. I needed to stay present. I needed to stay in my emotions. I tried calling you at 6:30. You didn't answer. I called Felice. She had a very interesting phone call. I punched myself in the head a few times, and and then she let me go. Is that Hawk?
Who's the Facebook user?
And and then I called Lish, had a long conversation with her. Oh, Chris Hill, big chill
in the house. There he is.
But
good to see you, brother.
Yeah, I talked to Lish for a long time, and I just made numerous phone calls. I called. I made a few phone calls. I was actually sitting on the trail behind the cemetery, just sitting on the trail when I hit myself. When I called, when I text my caseworker to let her know what happened. I called my caseworker. I called my boss at my company.
So that's like, I want to get back to real quick. Obviously you had the blinders, right? As soon as you hit the pipe, your phone went on airplane mode. It's like we get blind. We talk about the blinders, and you lose sight of playing the tape through. That's why we try to ingrain in our own minds. And they're like, one of the tools we use frequently is play the tape through, so that when you get stuck in these situations, you can break through those blinders, because those blinders will blind you. And then if you start using drugs in the midst of those blinders, your emotions get blocked, right? And all of a sudden you're separated spiritually from God. You start going backwards into this full-blown addiction. So Jake's Monday morning, he's having a higher power experience out front. Emotions come flooding back in. Blinders come off. He's choking on the ashes from the bridges he's burned, right? Thank you, Maynard James Keenan.
Did I burn any bridges? I'm not sure if there were any. I'm not sure if there were any bridges burned.
Well, they were on fire.
Yeah.
And he found the fire extinguisher quickly. And that's the thing, right? So the definition between a lapse and a relapse. So if you're on a diet, you're trying to lose weight, right? And Saturday rolls around, you eat a bunch of junk food. You go right back on your diet. Sunday, you had a lapse in your diet. You throw the diet out the window, you're back in Mickey D's for the next 4 weeks eating garbage. You've relapsed in your diet, right? And so Jake is experienced here as a lapse. And I want to talk about how well he's handled. Like you heard him say, he picked up the phone. And this is in the midst of not using meth for over a year, 2 shots, and smoking. So your tolerance level was way low. So he's really high. I mean, the meth is taken over big time.
My sensitivity was...
Yeah, he was zippity doo dah. And to be able to make the phone calls he did in the state he did, the courage, the humility, just what he had to swallow, his pride, and to reach out and say, hey, I messed up, and ask for help was huge. And to immediately start extinguishing these fires. Like would you say you called me, Felice, Lish, Mad, your boss?
Mad called me later that evening.
Oh, okay.
To check in on me.
And our community here reached out really well. And then he reached out to a few others, right? So go talk about how you started, like immediately, even though you lapsed, you were still under the influence. You're already back on track in recovery by doing the right thing, right?
Yeah. Like I I called Felice. I called Lish. I think we had a conversation that morning as well. I called I called Jesse. Had a conversation with her. Smashed myself in the head with a Gatorade bottle a few times.
Was it half full?
You use the bottom. It doesn't matter
like
how
this.
full it is. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes
it has that little sharp thing on there too.
Yeah, I beat the fuck out of myself.
I would have done the same.
And I text the caseworker. I called my boss. Let him know what happened.
So explain that conversation with your boss. So that's like coming, because that's your job. Most people's instinct is to lie about this. You could have said, "Hey, I'm sick. I got COVID. Hey, my car's broke down and I'm in Montana. I took my kids." You know what I mean? We can come up with some elaborate lies, but to immediately call your boss and tell him the truth.
Yeah, I called him and I said, "Hey, so I've been under a lot of stress lately, and it got to a point where I broke and I relapsed this weekend. I just wanted you to know that's what happened. I'm not going to fucking lie to you. I'm not going to do any of that. I would very much like to keep my job. All the details the same. And I just, I'm currently going through withdrawals, so I will definitely not be able to make it into work today." And he said, "Okay." And I started crying. Because I did just have a conversation with the caseworker. She asked me if I was going to commit suicide.
I was, to be honest, I was worried about that.
And, I told her no, I'd already processed that. That is a long-term solution to a temporary problem. And I didn't want to give my boys that pain, over a lapse, over anything. And so he said, come into the shop tomorrow morning, Tuesday morning, 8 a.m., and we'll have a conversation. So, I spent the rest of the day, having conversations and getting pissed, and I got kicked out of the motel room. I had a conversation with Cameron. He told me some things that gave me a panic attack. And I was so overcome with anger that I felt too small all of a sudden. Like my body was too small to control the emotions that I was feeling. And it took a lot to not Russell Brand the fucking hotel room. I don't know if he's the best example for that. Judas Priest, that was the one that I used before. That was
any rock star in hotel rooms.
And like it took a lot. And I think that's why they didn't let me pay for another day.
Oh.
Because everybody in that fucking hotel knew that I was upset.
Just how loud you were?
Yeah.
But you didn't break nothing.
I didn't break anything.
But your voice said otherwise.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So all of a sudden I go from having multiple panic attacks in this motel room, going through withdrawals, to walking across town.
Yeah. I was talking to you at that point.
Yeah. And then I ended at the 21st Street gas station, sitting outside, just trying to charge my phone. And then I called my safe person again. She came and picked me up because I was exhausted and couldn't walk even 4 more blocks. She helped me get a room at the Motel 6. And that's where I was for the rest of the week, because we had a team meeting for the DCFS.
Wait, let's go back a little bit. You're getting ahead, I think. So it starts off with phone calls for support and love, and I'm okay. I'm going to make it. Panic attacks, emotions, talking to your boss and kids and stuff. But then you got to face state, right?
Yeah.
And when I say state, we're talking like DCSF, judicial system, courts, and all that stuff that just makes your stomach turn. What happened with those types of phone calls?
They Well, so we had a team meeting already scheduled for the next day.
You had previously had a team meeting.
Yeah, we previously had a team meeting, and that's another thing why this was like why it was a compulsion, like why it was like sort of a subconscious thing, because we had a team meeting the following day on the 4th, and like our final court date was going to be June 17th, or potentially our final court date. Like I was looking at the finish line,
right?
And so it's like I felt extra stupid because I just fell like 3 miles from the finish. I was weeks out from possibly being done with all of this. And, so I went to the team meeting the next day, and, I had a therapy session with my counselor beforehand.
At this point, you're still probably somewhat high.
Yeah, I'm not feeling the best. I did sleep Monday night. I got my magnesium supplement and I slept, but I still wasn't 100%. I definitely noticed a decrease in mental function. That was actually pretty upsetting. I usually don't have, I usually don't need people to explain things to me 3 times.
Right. Foggy.
Like that's, I'm not being arrogant. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. When you're foggy and your mind's in a different spot, and then you're probably thinking about something over here and they're talking to you about something over here.
Yeah.
It's not going to click.
And so like we have this team meeting, and the guardian and the caseworker and all of the therapists, like they put in extra, like they put in extra work to help me come up with a plan so that we could present it to the judge, because usually at this point in the case, a relapse is an automatic removal of custody. And they believe in me, and they recognize this, and they were all super shocked by this. And, so they did what they needed to do so that I could keep my boys, because even despite this lapse, they recognized that I am the best option for my boys.
So over the last year and a half, you've been working your program hard. You're doing things like amazing things for your kids and just in life, and just grabbing the bull by the horns, for lack of better words. They saw that in you, even though you had this relapse.
Yes.
And that helped, I would imagine.
Yes. And, so I got to keep my job. DCFS is, I have work to do. I'm going back to SOAR full time, 4 days a week, doing the IOP, doing it over again. Absolutely. Going back as a coach, feel pretty good about that. I'm going to, I've been waiting a week. I didn't go to any Zoom meetings in RA this week because I wanted this first. So I'll be coming to those meetings and, going hard Thursday night, 8 p.m.
Thursday night live stream still.
Thursday night live stream, 8 p.m. with Jake, aka Savage Trainer. I expect to see you all there. And and so I've I'm gonna get back to doing what I was doing. That I love you too, baby. And I'm gonna start training again, going hard there, and doing everything that I was doing before, because I sort of let all that fall off. And that may have been a huge factor, not training. I haven't been eating garbage, but
moving twice in a month, basically.
Moving twice in a month. And,
yeah, that's not easy.
And all of those things. So, but.
Did you want to pop in here and say something? Oh, you can sit here if you want.
And
just come stare at yourself.
That shit was so funny. He was popping in and pow.
Oh yeah.
And then told me it's gonna be there forever.
So you couldn't see your kids till you peed clean.
Yeah, that was another part of the safety plan. And that was actually a part of the safety plan that I developed. I told them that I didn't want to be there. Like I very much did, but I wasn't going to risk exposing them to me. I become a cartoon character.
Oh yeah, you did.
I'm a cartoon.
Yeah, your voice was crazy.
Like what I
Abbott and Costello.
1940s Abbott and Costello character. Yeah. Yeah. It's fucking terrible.
It was terrible.
Like, oh god, it's fucking terrible. I hate it. But so I spent Monday through Friday morning in a motel room detoxing. I wasn't I wasn't allowed to talk to my children. I wasn't allowed to see my kids outside of a therapy setting until I was able to provide a clean urine sample. I probably could have provided that on Thursday, but I wanted to wait and be sure. And I even went and got a one of those stick tests from the head shop, so that I could do it, pass it, take a picture, send it to my caseworker, and then go and do the lab test, and they really worked with me on all that.
Sweet.
So I did go home Friday night, back to my boys, and it was a little weird. It was a little weird, but I just this lapse, it's not gonna take me out, like I just announced, back on Thursday night's live stream. I'll be back in SOAR, working as a coach. I'm still reading my books, working on not allowing the knowledge I'm gathering to make me arrogant. And I just I just wanted you guys to hear it from me instead of other sources that may potentially be not acting in my best interest.
Yeah, it's always better to hear from the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
So you're back on track. What repercussions, like how far of a setback is this for you as far as work, DCSF?
Well, work, I'm not allowed to drive commercially until I can give a clean drug test. So tomorrow when I go to work, I'll be like, hey, let me go to work med, give the drug test, and then I'll be back driving equipment, driving parts, and able to operate the company equipment. As far as DCFS, I don't know the full scope of that setback. I know that they want me they're letting me go back to SOAR to address the relapse. Like they love SOAR. And we're going to have a tracking therapist, somebody that comes to the house. I'm going to have a daily eyes on supervision, whether it's just, hey, here I am, or, having a therapy session with whoever comes to the house, me and the boys, making sure that we're all okay.
So somebody from DCSF is going to show up every day and put eyes on you?
From a sort of a private organization, but authorized by.
And so they come put eyes on you and give you a thumbs up and say, see you later. Oh,
yeah.
Okay. And that's daily for a little while?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be daily. I've asked to increase my therapy and also to switch tacks, because over the last year, like we've been going over my more recent abusive relationships, things like that, the stress of this case, working with my boys, going through TBRI, doing neurofeedback. And so I talked to my therapist and I asked her if we could do a deep dive into my sexual trauma, because the pattern that presented itself on that Saturday in question was an old pattern that was produced from my sexual trauma.
Yeah.
And so we're going to be doing EMDR, and no, we're not going to do ART. ART is garbage. Don't do ART. Accelerated response treatment is trash. But we're going to be doing EMDR and just multiple trauma modalities to really get those under control. Quiet backstage.
Quiet on set.
Yeah. I love you too, baby. And so that's sort of that's the goal. And if we're set out a little bit farther, I think that'll be okay, because that, you know, affords us more time for treatment, and, you know, the little ginger as well, and so that we can process this. We move into our apartment on June 11th.
Yeah.
When it's ready. I did get approved for that. I got approved for the rent relief. And so everything's back. Everything's going to be good. It's going to be good. I have a lot of work to do, but and I'm sure there's going to be an increase in drug testing. So
yeah, if you're clean, no big deal.
Whatever.
So what are your thoughts on having a huge support system?
It's actually it's interesting because
let me kind of clarify my thoughts on that. So you've had relapses in the past, and I've seen people relapse and come and go here at Recovering Addict, and in general in life. But now being a part of this community, as close as this community is getting, and I'm talking locally too with SOAR, to have that many people affected by a decision you made Saturday, however you want to look at it, I'm just saying that. Because it's seriously, for me, it felt like it was like, and it went all the way around, like to the UK and Australia, like, and then through this Utah County area, Weber County here.
It actually made me happy that everybody thought that I just did on a fucking mountain.
Really?
Yeah, I would have much preferred to be dying on a mountain.
Yeah, I would rather you've been too.
But it was interesting, because the only people that didn't immediately piss me off by speaking to me in a condescending manner was our Recovering Addict family. Like, my sister Connor, like she gets it, sort of. She didn't talk to me like I was some fucking wanker. Me and my mom, we're still working on our communication skills, but like you, Felice, Lish, Mad, all of the love that I got from the Discord. Hawk called personally. He listened to me cry for a while, and it was it was very connecting, because the opposite of addiction is not sobriety. It's connection. And while my relapse was disconnection based, and, really some feelings of expendability, I don't have to feel like that. Like I did, but I don't have to. And I'm going to take the steps to, not feel like that again.
You always hear me talk about get involved in recovery support. The more, the better. And I think that's kind of what you experienced. And I always say Recovering Addicts is a supplement to anything you can do locally with psychologists and IOPs and, all those inpatients and stuff like that. But it's just another measure you can put in place. I mean, he's even asked to be put on our little app we have here, which gave me some more ideas about accountability. But the further you can immerse yourself in your local community, your local IOPs, AA, NAs, get to know anybody that's in recovery and understands what we go through, and then get a good digital community as well to people, because we get to know, like here, just promote Recovering Addict for a second. We get to know each other where we're calling each other and we become friends. All of a sudden, this last year and a half, Jake and I have, and Felice and everybody have friends across the country and even in other parts of the world, like friends, like they could call and come to Utah and be like, I'm like, my couch is right there. Come on in. And to have all that at our disposal 24 hours a day, to where if we go MIA for 12 hours to 24 hours, if we've said something different, if our story, you know, that is just, I don't know, the value in that is just unbelievable to me. And watching you go through this is just, it's been a lesson in love and support, and then just rebound and I love it. Everybody, I'm talking about everybody.
Yeah, and I agree, you know, and you know, you've talked about closing back doors, and you know, I wanted to sort of challenge you with trap doors, and you know, I have to take that back, because there are back doors that to relapse to drug use that are not necessarily on the surface, which would by definition be a trap door. But it's you know, my back door was unresolved sexual trauma, and my back door was not training, like not lifting, not running. You know, I had a lot of excuses, you know, plantar fasciitis keeping me off the
moving twice in a month,
moving twice in a month. Just
work.
There was a lot.
But my challenge to you on that one was, like, the first thing that popped into my head, and we were like, what are you about? Because we talk about back doors, right? Not closing your back doors, not deleting phone numbers. But there's things in recovery, you could take all those measures, but you can't forget an address of a dope man. If you've memorized somebody's phone number, you can't just delete that out of your brain. There has to be tools in place to, like you said, an unresolved trauma that kind of led down this path. And then trap doors, you know, like, oh, there's a trap door, I didn't see it coming, I stepped in a hole, and now I'm high. I think there comes a point in recovery, dependent, and it's very subjective, this is just my thoughts and opinions on this, that, okay, it's time, it's enough, we got to put all the bullshit aside. We make bad choices. We decide and go out and use. And it's a choice at that point. We know back doors. We know triggers. We know all that stuff. And so when I hear trap doors, it's like, okay, now we're overthinking it. We're over justifying things to get out of taking responsibility, because us addicts don't want to take full blown, I messed up, I made a bad choice responsibility. Not saying that's what's going on, but that was my initial thoughts when you brought the whole backdoor thing up.
Yeah. You know, and, you know, I take full accountability for this, you know, like there were a lot of factors that played into this situation. But you know, and like I said, I asked for more therapy so that I could address those lurking threats. Going back to SOAR to, you know, lift the weights and process the recovery and bang that goddamn SOAR manual. You know, anybody in SOAR watching, like, I'm coming hard with that fucking manual.
Savage is coming back, y'all.
I'm coming hard with that fucking manual. It is a valuable goddamn resource. You know, like, we're gonna get into it. You know, and
sweet. If I had this address memorized, I'd tell you. I'd just give you my old address, and you'd end up at an empty house.
But you know, I just need to get my life back to where I was before. You know, I even went to EOS today, and I renewed my membership.
EOS is a gym.
It's a gym. It used to be Gold's Gym, but I renewed my membership there so that, you know, I have that access. So if I am feeling away, and, you know, even if I just got done training, or I'm going to train later that day, I can go and climb stairs for an hour and, you know, get that blood boil and, you know, feel better. By September, I should be a monster.
It's good shit, man.
You know,
it's crazy. Like, it blew the minds of everybody here, you know, and it shockwaved the whole Utah County, Weber County here. Recovered addict, SOAR, I'm sure.
Yeah. You know, but I'm back, and, you know, I'm going to outwork you.
Anybody got any questions? Anything? Did this relate? What do you guys think about, you know, back doors, trap doors, closing this or that? And what's the difference between understanding and knowing your triggers and having worked and processed, and the tools to just saying screw it and going getting high.
See, that was another thing. Like, I have all the fucking skills. I have all the fucking knowledge. I have all the. I had the fucking support system. So it's like fuck.
Thanks, Corey. It's Batman. I always have to be fidgeting something.
Yeah, like I had all of that shit. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna outwork Teeter. Definitely gonna outwork Teeter.
She's had a few nightmares of relapsing. She's coming up on a year. Stay strong, stay connected. I mean, like he says, the opposite of addiction is connection. And the more connected you are with like-minded individuals that you can trust and that could check on you, and phone calls you can make and messages you can send, get as deep. Like, I don't know. I was taught about marriage one time, and I think recovery can kind of apply here. But you want to be so connected to a recovery community. It'd be like having a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And, you can't just pull that apart cleanly and it'd be fine. It's going to have peanut butter on this side, jelly on that. I mean, we should be so connected that when one of us rips apart and goes and tries to hide, that it takes pieces of us and we reach out and try to find, and there's pieces of us left on the other side that it plays with the consciousness. So they're not sitting in a dark hole. Did that happen? Were you when Saturday, you're getting high, Sunday, we're recovering addict and families moving in on you. You couldn't have been sitting there comfortably having fun and enjoying the high, or did you just go blind to all of that?
That's why I did more drugs.
Just tried to get rid of that pain, that guilt.
I tried just to make it through until I could get out of there. But
the whole you can't have a belly full of whiskey and a head full of AA. How did that play in this relapse here?
It definitely played. It there was that conflict. There was definitely a conflict. Because there was that. I just want to keep doing this here. I just want to. But no, motherfucker, you gotta get out of here.
Can't do this.
You can't do this anymore. It's time to go home. But you can't go home because you a fucking retard. And so it was a mess. It was a mess, and that's why I made so many phone calls, was to try to organize that mess with the brain that I just fucking deregulated with.
Yeah.
I don't even know if the drugs were good, but they fucking hit pretty hard. And so I try to organize my thoughts, lots of phone calls. And it was a mess trying to keep my fucking phone charged. Like, I didn't have my charger. The goddamn, it was fuck.
Everything fell apart hardcore.
Everything fell apart. Everything was so difficult.
It was chaos instantly.
Yeah, and then yesterday trying to sign the safety plan so that I could go home, the fuse blew out in the car that operated the power outlet. And so I had to drive and find an outlet to plug my phone in because I didn't have a motel room anymore. And it was just a gnarly mess, but I paid all my bills. Got home. I did, I have been playing video games this weekend. My kids have been hanging out with their cousins, and Drake's been on the trampoline, and Cameron's been just chilling. So I've been playing video games, and I was really fucking lonely. Made a couple of phone calls, but I mostly just played video games and was just lonely and depressed, just fucking waiting to get here.
So all the negative repercussions, DCSF, your boss, your kids you can't see for a week, you have to pee clean. Prime Minister's taken from you in Discord. Yeah. You basically get just shoved out to the outside.
I was compartmitalized.
Yeah. Until Tasmanian Devil left you.
Yeah. That was like, I get that way when I'm lifting though. You fuckers made fun of me.
Well, that's different.
I was in there doing doing deadlifts.
Yeah, you think he's loud, just chilling normal. Watch him get excited and work out.
Oh fuck.
Thank you, Soupy.
And just there was a lot of negatives, but really there was just as many positives, like as far as my internal support systems, my external support systems, realizing just, fuck you, Sean. Only you going to Planet Fitness would fucking know what that is. Like, I know what it is because Juji Mufu got kicked out of Planet Fitness once with Brian Shaw.
Planet Fitness has pizza and Tootsie
Planet
Rolls.
Fitness has an excellent fucking business model. Like, really, if you think about it, fucking donuts on fucking the first Monday of the month, pizza, fucking, what'd you say, cookies? Like, what the fuck? It's ridiculous.
Once you're out, you're out.
Yeah.
Shane.
I don't know who that is.
I'm not sure. Thank you, Leslie.
Oh, is that my turn?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know I know. Digging life again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's just
so we use an analogy, and you've heard me. Nothing I say is mine. I get it from books, just like me and Jake like to do, and just books. But we talked about relapse, and we looked at relapse as like we're on our way to the post office, is what this one book said. It's super icy and slippery outside. It's snowing. We're on our way to the post office, and we get about 3 blocks to the post office, and we slip and fall down. When we get up, we have a relapse. When we get up, we're not right back at square one. We're still 3 blocks closer to the post office. We just got bumps, bruises, and we're going to walk a lot more cautiously. So he's not starting over. And like, this is kind of what I hope people that have relapsed or they're about to, like, in their mind, hopefully this is pulling you back into recovery and getting you deeper, more involved, all that stuff. But he's not starting over. All the knowledge and all the tools he gained are still there. He gets up, he's bruised, he's battered, he's going to walk more cautiously. And that goes for everybody that's watching. Did he get a 24-hour chip? Yep. Is he going to get a 30-day chip? Yep. Like the clean date type stuff, that starts over. And that's just to stay honest and humble.
What?
And I think we have one. I'm going to present it to him here in just 2 seconds. But go ahead and talk for a second.
Love you, Jake. You are the effing man. Scared the hell out of in the beginning moment, but then I told LT he has such a strong ass support base with us. If you wants it, he will get it, and he got it. I broke out of my cage and I got it. I tell you.
So on tonight, we're gonna give Jake his 24-hour clean tag. When he hits 30, we got one for him there too, and so on and so forth.
Big bag of this now.
In case I relapse.
These aren't actually mine, but I have these.
Heck yeah.
Oh yeah.
I need to get more.
So yeah, we're gonna be following him. We're gonna be monitoring him and staying close. And I don't know. That's what I love about recovering addicts: the worry and fear. If somebody's going to go out and use, there's nothing we can do. We can't stop them. We can't do those interventions where they walk in the room and we're all sitting there just staring at you. Those they don't work at all. And I was so trying to avoid that when I went looking for him. But then we had groups of people. I know Allie was out driving around. I was out driving around. Another friend of ours, Jake, was driving around. And some other people, but we had a posse out there searching the streets, and I didn't even know where to go. All the drug houses I used to work in or play in are nice and remodeled now and don't even look the same. My meth addiction days were 20 years ago. But yeah, wherever I was going with that, I don't know where I was going. What was I saying?
I don't know. I'm just gonna keep going to meetings. I'm gonna stay involved in the Discord and do SOAR and live stream. I think I'm gonna try to do I'm gonna talk to Hawk and see if we can do a little stream on our hikes in the mornings or spiritual experiences.
That'd be cool.
do a Saturday morning spiritual experience with y'all. And
if you're here locally, I'm going to start doing a Sunday hike. Well, we do our Sunday hikes, but I'm going to make it available to the public every Sunday. I'm linking 10 o'clock. We'll meet somewhere and just do it. It's not going to be a kill you hike. Another, maybe 2 hours. We get to the top. We do some spiritual work and hike down and just have a great start of a Sunday morning. So if you're local and you want to be involved in that, let me know. Do you want to talk?
Petey's asking what your take on all this is.
My chat's being weird, but there's a bit there.
Do you want to talk? You don't have to. If you want to, you sit right here, bud. I'll move. I'll let you guys hash it out for a minute. You want to? No pressure.
He's camera shy.
His name's Cam. He can't be camera shy.
He's camera shy.
I'm gonna no.
He's camera shy.
Camera.
Look at him.
That camera.
Look at him.
Cam has been a thing for years.
Cameron shy.
Cameron shy.
You want to sit here?
Cameron.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Talk to Dad about it again.
There you go. Recognize this, anybody?
I don't know really where to start.
Let's go.
Well, I don't really know where we are in this, but Saturday when he had his little incident, I wasn't too worried about it until around 10-11 p.m. and I'm still working through it because I've been sort of blaming myself because I was supposed to go with him, and in my mind there was, if I went with him, that most likely would not have happened, but I don't know.
It
There's a lot
wasn't
there.
It wasn't you.
I know, it's just like,
like
if I were to go,
if we ended up on the trail, we would have been on the trail and I wouldn't have relapsed. But you cannot blame yourself. Like you sleeping, that had nothing to do with it.
well, I thought like in my head you would have woken me up. Because you usually do that.
Well,
I know I'm a heavy sleeper.
You text me at 4 a.m. because you were outside because you were at your buddy's house.
Yeah.
I was letting you sleep. Like it wasn't yours. It wasn't. This isn't on you. It's not on you. Like yes, we would have gone hiking. Yes, but if not then, with the cycle that had already started in my head.
Yeah, that's what Connor and them were telling me.
Like if not that weekend, what about the following? Or what about the following? What about the following? There were things that needed to be addressed.
And that is why you're banned from hiking alone.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's fine.
But
it's just it obviously it needed to happen. And like I said, I feel like there was definitely a God presence, and like I told the guardian and the caseworker, I'm glad this happened now instead of a year from now.
Yeah.
So that I could start to work on that. And so we just got to keep moving forward, and that's what we're going to do, and that's what we've been doing. That's why we had that. That's why I open up to you in that therapy session on Wednesday. I let you know there's no hiking ban.
Yes, no, hiking alone. He cannot hike alone now.
Yeah, but there's just.
So what do you think about co-addiction? Your addiction becoming his addiction in this sense about that hiking thing?
What do you mean?
Like you know how co-addicts, like your addiction becomes their addiction, right? They're addicted to watching you not be addicted. So like that would be a trigger for him.
I did have that moment of like, okay, I don't feel okay. I need to go do this on my way home from my buddies. And I was alone. So I was like, okay, I do have an opportunity. It would take a long time to get there, but it was an opportunity I had. But I, like, it clicked in my head that my dad is gone. My little brother is essentially alone. And I couldn't, like, I was like, I can't do that. I have to go home. Yeah. And like him relapsing wasn't as, like, it was a big issue for me, but it wasn't as bad. I found out he relapsed. I was like, well, I know he's going to get back on the grind. But my biggest concern was Drake, because he'd cry. Like, he'd ask me to stay downstairs with him until he fell asleep. And I'm glad I didn't. But
Oh, well, I'm back now, you know, and you see Drake and he's good. He's good now. You know, his security blanket is home. And, you know, I'm not going anywhere. You know, it was very important for me to do this. You know, tomorrow is sore. Tomorrow is another day. Tomorrow is possible drug test. Tuesday, therapy, you know, working out the schedule, getting our consistency down, and, you know, just moving forward.
positive note, I should be ending my little thing this month. Well, what is it?
The 17th?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I'm tired.
You good?
I'm gonna be so upset if I'm not done.
Well, you know, if you're not, then
Like,
you're not.
More than a year.
If you're not, you're not.
I'm gonna be upset.
All we have to do is live and die.
Yeah. You know, like really, he's
Live
almost
and continue living.
to a point.
What is it? Reincarnation? Just live, die, live elsewhere.
Possibly.
Maybe.
Depends
on what doctrine you subscribe to.
Subscribe. Yeah, me too. Eternal happiness and joy and bliss.
That
Awesome.
Boring though. But you can fly. Oh, like
can we fly?
Oh, okay.
Awesome, everybody. Well, we will be back Tuesday. This show ain't over until we say the Serenity Prayer, FYI. But we are going through Staying Sober by Terrence Gorski. This is a guide for relapse prevention. I'm putting courses together for our building we are going to do here locally. We are obviously going to try to get, you know, so pray for us that this works out. But local recovering addict here, probably not Ogden, but round in this Weber County area. But we want to be a supplement to a need here in the area that we see that we can fit in two different categories, an educational place. I'll describe more of it as we get there, but pray for us. But we're going to heavily base our structure on relapse prevention. You did 90 days. You did, and this is kind of a case point right here. You done your 90 days. You've done your inpatient and all that stuff. Now what? Now what do we do with the rest of our lives? You know, do we continue to go to AA? Yeah, you can do that. But we want to further educate, integrate communication skills, life skills, all kinds of awesome stuff is what we have planned. But this Tuesday, we're going to pick back up Staying Sober. So don't go away. Make sure you're tuned in. We will be trying to chop these videos down. I have Zylan, my son, here. If you notice, that last little video from last Sunday was his first time editing. And so he got to put his skills to the test. I didn't do anything to it. I just let it be how he made it, and I posted it so that he can start the whole learning process of editing, uploading YouTube, all that, blah, blah, blah. So give him some love. Watch those. When you see those videos, know that he's the one behind editing, and encourage him. And the more content, we're going to start trying to produce as much content, educational and love and support, and for everybody out there as much as we can. Brad Kendall's going to have a late night meeting in the Zoom. So if you're in the Discord right here, make sure you're there. You can join the Zoom meeting right after this live stream here in a couple of minutes. And I think that's that. But you guys, come on. Everybody come back here.
I'm going to unmack your damn cheese, boy.
Unmack the cheesy.
Yup.
Millie.
Or anyone?
What am I doing?
Are we doing the serenity prayer?
Serenity prayer.
Perfect.
Ready? Well, let's wait 2 seconds, see if anybody posts it. If not, then y'all say this with us and mean it from the bottom of your heart that we can understand these truths. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. All right, late night Zoom meeting. We will be back live Tuesday going through that book, like I've said about 1,000,000 times. And until then, do not put yourself in a high-risk situation. Stay strong, work your program, and remember, we recover better together.